What does it truly mean to be spiritual? What does it truly mean to be authentic? What is the difference between spirituality and authenticity? Is there a difference? What does it look like to truly live from spirit, an inspired life from your own deep truth? What does it look like to live a life aligned with spirit? Today we're diving into this question, and this question sits at the heart of so many spiritual explorers, so many seekers. We're living in a world flooded with information, with spiritual trends, with curated social media identities and performative wellness. We're going to open the space into a profound conversation, and sometimes a very challenging one. In today's fast-paced self-improvement and filtered, watered-down spirituality, the quest for true authenticity can very often feel overwhelming. And there's something deeper in us that is longing, not for more information, for realness. We're longing for authenticity, to be within our true self. So what does it mean to truly be spiritual or to truly be authentic? Not just in theory, not just on social media, but lived, an embodied practice, an embodied life. This episode's an invitation to not just listen, but to feel deeply into your own experience, to examine your own life, to examine your own experience, to pause and reflect on how you define and embody spirituality and authenticity in your life, in your daily life, in your moment-to-moment existence. Many think that spirituality is a way of escaping the world, but this is so far from true. It's a way to meet presence and be present and be living in awareness. Spirituality is the art of being yourself, your spirit. We're inspired, we're inspiritos. At its essence, spirituality is nothing more than the recognition that we're more than our bodies, our thoughts, and our story, our past. It's the remembrance that life is sacred. All life is sacred, and that there's a divine natural intelligence weaving through all of existence, that which created the stars and the 2 trillion galaxies created us, and we're part of the creator, and we're part of the creation. It doesn't matter what you call it. That's a human construct. We can call it source. We can call it God, goddess. We can call it consciousness, nature, the universe, the unknown, love. The name is irrelevant. It's secondary because the language is a human construct. It's not touching what it actually is. What matters the most is your felt connection to that greater reality and to yourself as part and parcel of that greater reality. Spirituality is not a performance. Yoga is not a performance. It's not sitting there with your eyes closed, repeating mantras on your mala beads. It's not that, but that's not all of it. It's not some cacao or matcha ceremony at a special tea shop with yoga mats and a cushion. It's not perfecting a yoga posture. It's not going to some Bali Tantra retreat. Those can all be beautiful expressions of this. They might even be helpful, but that's not the core. That's not the absolute truth. The spiritual path is your path, and it's about your relationship to yourself. Then the spiritual path is about your relationship from yourself to others, to nature, and to the infinite. On a whole nother level, it's how we breathe through our discomfort. It's how we respond when no one is watching. It's how we sit with our own inner world in silence when there's no internet to look at, when there's no one to affirm our successes or our shortcomings. It's a waking up, not just in the morning when the alarm goes off or when the sun comes in the window. It's waking up to the truth of who you are and what's here, what's present in this moment. The concept, be here now, that's the only place we can be when we're present. The mind can be in the past or the future, but we can only be in this present moment. Spirituality is showing up to be who you are right here and now. To be authentic is to be real, but being real doesn't mean that you're perfectly honest all the time or you're radically transparent all the time. Being real means that you're aligned with what is. You're aligned with your own self. It means that your outer expression of who you are matches your inner truth of who you are. Authenticity includes all of you. It includes the light and the shadow. So many people are afraid to show the shadow part of themselves, that they can only be light, that they can only be love. Authenticity is your dreams, and it's your doubts, and your fear, and your desire, and your wounds. And it's also your laughter, and your joy, and your confidence. And it's also your grief, and your pain, and your confusion. More than anything, being authentic is the acceptance and surrender that you're a human, that you have a human experience. So often we're taught to only show a polished part of ourselves, especially in social media, to curate our lives, to not show our pain or even to suppress our pain. And from a very young age, to over-identify with our persona. From a very young age, I remember going into ego training, that I should be somebody, successful, that I should be somebody special, unique. We're all special. We're all unique. We don't need to go into a special training for that. We're born special and unique. Authenticity tells us that we choose ourselves and meet ourselves where we're at. It doesn't mean you are constantly comparing yourself to someone else, that you're better, worse, more, or less. It's not false pride. It's not false humility. It's also not broadcasting your pain and suffering all over the internet. It just means that you're not hiding from yourself anymore. You're not numbing your pain. You're not numbing paying attention to you. The profound part of this is so simple. Authenticity is practice. You practice showing up, and your authenticity changes as you change. Everything is in evolution. Everything is in change. The person I was 6 months ago may have had a completely different view or truth than what I have right now. My organs are changing. My stomach cells are brand new every 5 days, but it remembers how to digest food. My liver cells are new every 6 to 8 weeks. It remembers what it's supposed to do. There's a constant renewal of the software, but behind that, there is a pure state of awareness, a pure state of being. And the programs are changing, but we can also identify with that pure state of awareness. Authenticity honors the evolution and the change in the programs. What I knew at 6 years old and 12 years old and 18 years old is not the same. What I know now is not the same as I knew a year ago. But behind that, there I am watching the play unfold. If I choose to show up, if I choose to meet myself where I am, it becomes a beautiful play. And that's, I think, where spirituality and authenticity really kind of merge, or they do merge. The path of spirituality, the frickin' messy human experience in favor of the love light, it's all good ideals. That's not true spirituality, and that's not authentic. That's bypass. True spirituality requires that we be authentically real and be truthful to ourselves. It demands we bring all of ourselves to the altar, not just the parts that we think are holy. Stop lying to the altar. Stop lying to ourselves. In the same way, authenticity becomes spiritual only when we recognize that every part of us, every single part of us, the dark, the light, the jealousy, the shame, our longing, our lust, our desire, our anger, our rage, every part of us is an expression of the divine. Not just the light, not just when we're feeling courageous or inspired, every single part. And if we're not willing to show up for all of that and honor all of that, we're missing the point of being a human. Being spiritual and being authentic means fully feeling your grief, not identifying with it, not saying my grief is who I am, my pain is who I am. It's part of the experience. Being spiritual and authentic means speaking your truth, even if you're terrified of it. It's being humble and surrendering. To say I don't know when we don't know, and do it with humility and presence. What we can actually know is so little. Our universe is so infinitely vast, and we've been here a few 100,000 years as a human race, and our lives are even shorter. What can we actually possibly know? Being spiritual and authenticity is more than just putting your hands together in namaste. It's not just words. It's how we live our life. It's not just posting you wearing an Om t-shirt and having a nice Om cup. It's every single moment of how we live. And being spiritual is not just listening to podcasts. It's when you're quiet and listening to what's true in your own heart. And spirituality and authenticity means being willing to transform over and over and over and over and over again, and letting go of the concept of who we think we are. It's not being a yogi sitting in a cave. It's just being. It's not being a guru. It's not being a seeker. It's pure being and willing to show up and be present with yourself. The Vedic traditions, the indigenous wisdom traditions, offer us really profound insights on how to really come into that being, come into living spiritual life, living authenticity, living a spiritual authenticity-filled life. It's through embodiment. It's in and through the body this happens. So many traditions negate the body, say the body must rot and suffer. Buddha tried that. Buddha tried fasting. It's not excess or too much or too little. It's the middle path. Even Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he said the spiritual path is only for those with moderation. Not too much, not too little. Because that's in duality. That's in judgment. The self is just one. The self is just an awareness. So let's look at some practices that we can do to really help support us grow into our true self, to living a spiritually authenticity-filled life. Number one, this I think is really, truly the most important thing we can do, is have a daily check-in with ourselves. Every morning and every evening, we ask difficult questions. Where am I not being honest with myself? Number one. And then inspired questioning. What is my soul asking for today? How can I live a more inspired life today? What would bring me joy and others joy today? So having that daily check-in. At the end of the day, we ask a similar question. Where was I not being honest with myself today? Where did I choose to go back into the pain body or to numb out the pain because it was too difficult? And accepting that that's okay, but just checking in so we have a more concrete awareness of it. And as we're going to bed, we can ask, what will my soul ask for tomorrow? What can I do to be more in joy, more in my authenticity tomorrow? And that's number one, that daily check-in. The second thing, it's a basic part of my practice, is stillness and silence. Sacred stillness, sacred silence. Whether it's 5 minutes or an hour, take some time every day to sit in silence. Not to achieve anything. Meditation isn't to achieve anything. It's actually to do the opposite. It's to empty everything out. Then when there's nothing, then there's everything. It's the sacred silence, that stillness, is to listen deeply to our own authenticity that's often buried under all the mental noise and chatter, all the mental constructions we've built. So sit silently. I recommend morning and evening, even if it's just 5 minutes. There's also this really profound word in our vocabulary. It's called no. No is another version of yes. Practice saying no. What are we saying no to? To anything that drains our energy. Even if it looks spiritual, if it's not uplifting your heart, if it's not filled with authenticity for you, don't do someone else's spiritual path, do your path. So saying no to things that are not in alignment with your heart, and saying yes to what is true for you. And one of the things that I recommend saying no to is the internet, especially first thing in the morning. Say yes to the internet of consciousness within you before you ever turn on the internet. We do our spiritual practice, we do our self-check-in, our self-love ritual practice, whatever it is in the morning, before the external world. We make ourselves the most important. Then another major important thing we do is look at our shadow. We need to really look at our shadow. We need to journal or speak with someone that we trust about the different parts of ourselves that we like to hide, that we don't want to show the rest of the world, that we're afraid to show the rest of the world. And when we look at that, we can ask, what wisdom lives here? Why are these parts here? What can they teach me? Where in your life were you told that these parts are bad? There's no bad parts. There's just less integrated parts that haven't been integrated yet, or parts that were trained into a subconscious program that's not actually true. Asking ourselves, What does a spiritual life look like for me? Really understanding and embracing what lives true in our life, and then making life devotional, making all of life sacred. It's not just when you're doing the mantra on your mala beads. It's not just on the yoga mat. It's not just when you're doing a tantric practice, looking into your beloved's eyes, holding their heart, and breathing in a spiritual way. It's the simple acts of everyday life. It's washing the dishes. It's walking in nature. It's making your food. It's making your tea. We let life become the ceremony. In this, we embrace the darkness and light. We accept the perfection of it all. In the grand play of existence, our darkness, our light, our shadow and light are seen as opposing forces that are often feared and sometimes revered. Our light is revered and honored, and the darkness or the shadow is feared. In truth, neither one of these resists the other. They both embrace all things without any discrimination. The sky is darkness embraces everyone, light embraces everyone. Darkness does not push away light, and light does not fight to overcome darkness. They coexist in this harmonic, perfect balance, reflecting the deeper nature of life, of creation. They coexist in this perfect balance that reflects the deeper nature of acceptance and non-resistance. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi said stress comes when we resist existence. Darkness and light do not resist. Part of the self is darkness. It's often so misunderstood. It's not the enemy of light. It's the counterpart. The space in which light can be seen. Without darkness, how can we know light? Without the night sky, we can't see the beauty of the stars and the Milky Way and all of it. They're both absolutely essential. Darkness accepts everything without condition. Light accepts everything without condition. They hold the mysteries of our universe. In darkness, we have the dreams, the dream world. And then without the darkness, how is there morning awakening? Right? Darkness doesn't judge, light doesn't judge. It doesn't reject the shadow, and it doesn't fear the depth. It allows what is to be the same way the light does, without demand or expectation. In its presence, we find rest. We find a renewal. We find a deep introspection. Ultimately, both the light and the dark are the womb of creation. They're seeds that germinate in the unseen before they emerge into the world of light. The essence of light resists nothing. It does not deny existence of the shadow. It just illuminates it. If you're in a dark room, no matter how big the room, turn on a little light and the room is illuminated. The sun doesn't force itself on the earth. It shines freely to every person here, the saint and the sinner, the person living on the street, the person living in the mansion. It offers its warmth to everyone. Again, light, just like darkness, doesn't discriminate. It remains the same. Darkness and light are the same. They reveal, but don't judge, okay? So we need to stop fighting with ourself. We need to learn to dance. Darkness and light teach us the power of surrender. When we can surrender, we're living in a true spiritual understanding and true authenticity. They don't fight. We need to stop fighting in ourselves. We move in harmony. Light and dark move in harmony, and understand that they can't exist without each other. Just like, again, the dawn dissolves the night. Night divides the day. This is the wisdom of the universe. The resistance creates our suffering. Acceptance brings the peace. Darkness and light allow each other to exist. Are we allowing ourself to exist? That is authenticity, to allow ourself to exist as we are. We can learn to allow life to flow without resistance. When the pain comes, we embrace it with the openness. When joy comes, we allow it to shine and share it with others effortlessly. Embracing both within ourselves is the essence of living a spiritual life. It's the essence of living authenticity. All of the emotions, all of the thoughts, all of the experiences can contain moments that allow us to have deep introspection into ourselves. They can allow us to have deep pain and radiate joy. The only thing is to stop resisting. Don't fear the darkness and don't grasp onto the light. It's part of us. That's part of the spiritual path. That's part of living authenticity. Embrace the darkness. Again, one of the practices for embracing darkness is that radical honesty. practicing that radical honesty, questioning ourselves. We can journal this. This is another practice we can do to really come into our authentic self and live spiritually, inspired. Journal on this, write it. What parts of myself do I hide from others? What parts of myself do I hide from myself? What do I judge in others that might also live in me? And let yourself feel whatever arises. Don't analyze anything. Just feel it. You can reflect on this later. And then we want to really observe our reactions. Jealousy, rage, avoidance, control, people-pleasing. These are reactions based on past wounds. And then we can name them. We can name them with a curiosity. Curiosity is actually a way to freedom in and of itself, but name them with curiosity. When these things come up, when the people-pleasing tendency, when the rage, jealousy, whatever it is, this is the inner critic. This is my abandoned child. The family, they're missing parts within ourselves or abandoned parts within ourselves. We just name them. We're just aware of them. And then we can be compassionate to ourselves like we are to our best friends. Tell that part, I see you, I'm listening, I hear you. That's authentic. Dialogue with the shadow. Do inner parts work. Imagine you're speaking to a part of yourself that is afraid, that is angry, that wants to manipulate, that was manipulated. Ask that part, what are you protecting yourself from? And what do you need from me? How may I serve you? How may I love you? How may I be present for you? This is showing up for ourselves. This is the spiritual work we have to do. Just sitting with your eyes closed doesn't get this work done. Just chanting mantras all day long. When you come out of the cave from chanting mantras, these issues are still going to be there. We have to show up and be authentic. There's so much bypass in the spiritual community. We need to show up. And rituals do help. Creating rituals to release these things, to express ourselves. We can dance our pain. We can dance our grief. We can dance our joy and our celebration. We can paint our rage, paint our joy, scream into pillows, punch the pillows. Go to the gym and kick the boxing bag. Make sure you know how to do that so you don't hurt yourself. But creating these rituals, let the shadow have a healthy, contained outlet where it can be seen and felt and honored, not condemned, not judged, not blamed. It needs love. Love is the medicine. Only through love, only through compassion and empathy is anything going to heal. And then, there's a practice of working with a mirror, looking in a mirror and really saying affirmations. I see all of me. I see myself. I'm willing to love even the darkness, even the shadow, even the pain. And if we need to, we can work with therapists. We can work with compassionate inquiry guides. We can work with somatic therapy. We can hold sacred circles where we share in a safe space. We can ask a life coach, a spiritual guide. We're not alone. We need to ask for help. And that's the shadow. How to embrace the light. Many people fear their light just as much as the shadow. Our brilliance can often feel really vulnerable too. What are our own strengths? We need to look at our own strengths as well, not just the darkness. Again, in the journal, you can write, what am I really good at? What are the gifts that I have? How do I offer myself truly? What do others see in me and thank me for? We need to be able to look at our own strength, and we do need to be able to accept compliments without false humility, without deflecting. If someone offers a compliment, thank you. I receive that. I really appreciate you saying that. Really take it in. So many of the times in spiritual communities, it's false humility. Oh, I didn't do anything. It was God. Yeah, it is God, and it's God through you as you. Identifying what brings us to life, what makes you alive, identifying the things in our life that give us energy instead of what drains you. What do you feel aligned with? What fills you with joy, and what makes you want to flow into your true authenticity? Who are you when you are in love with you and when you are in love with life? We need to identify that. Practice self-liberating visibility. What does that mean? Share your gifts in service. Post your poems. Record your music. Record your song. Go online and teach a class. Offer your healing session. Do whatever it is that you do that is you from love. That is your authentic self. And if you're afraid to do this, we can do affirmations like, I feel safe to be seen in my truth. I feel safe to be seen for who I am. Don't diminish your light for anyone. Connect to your divine spark. And that really does happen. That spark, that light, I believe comes from stillness. You can be still and follow the breath. Breathe into your heart or breathe into your third eye and feel light filling you. Feel light filling every cell of your body, your chakras, your channels, your organs, your reproductive organs. Feel light filling your yoni, your lingam, your heart, your hands, your nose, your sense organs. Fill yourself with light, not just darkness. Fill yourself with light and affirm, I'm a vessel of light. I'm here to share love and light with the world. That's who we are. Surround yourself with light. If it's dark and you want light, put on the light bulb, right? Integrating these two is essential. They're dance partners. I mean, if you want to dance alone, that's fine, but they like to dance together. We can do another journaling practice at the end of the day. Today, my shadow showed up as ... How did your shadow show up? Were you able to stay aware of your shadow while it was coming up? My light expressed itself when I ... How did my light show up? Asking another question. Both are teaching me, or stating both are teaching me this, and this. What did we learn? It's so wonderful to make mistakes, but we need to learn from them. There's no point in making a mistake if we're not learning something. So in questioning, what did my light teach me? What did my shadow teach me? The self-examination is the spiritual path. Self-inquiry. Ramana Maharshi, the great yogi, the great saint, did Atmavicharya, inquiring, am I my thoughts, my emotions, my processes? Who am I when I am who I am, when I am whole, when I am God, when I am goddess, when I am everything? Who am I? And affirm this for integration. I embrace all of me, my messy, magnificent, raw, radiant self. Nothing is too much. Nothing in me is too much. Nothing in me is inherently good or bad, right or wrong. Stop the inner critic, stop the judging. Another affirmation, nothing in me is unworthy of love. This is important. Nothing in me is unworthy of love. Every part is worthy of love. Speak this out loud. Write it down. Move it. When we can surrender like this, we find our freedom. When we embrace the shadow and the light, it's so liberating. It's so humbling. It's so empowering. That's where our wholeness begins. That is where our authenticity begins. When we're embracing our darkness and light equally. When we're choosing from that place. We're choosing from the place of awareness. And one moment we may choose to hang out in the shadow. Another moment we may choose to hang out in light. But we have the choice. When we're free from the judgment, from the guilt, from the shame, we're free to be all of it. Being spiritual and living a life of authenticity is a lifelong journey. It is the life journey. It is your journey. It is my journey. It is each of our journeys to bring our whole self present. Being spiritual and authentic, it's not about arriving at some idealistic final version of yourself. It's about presence right now. Being spiritual and authentic is about living in radical presence with who you are right now. All your beauty, all your flaws, your messy divine mystery. I encourage you to continue to inquire within. What does authenticity mean to you right now? Only you can answer that. To me, authenticity is devotion to my own inner fire, to my own inner light, and my own inner darkness. I'm always asking, how can I be of service? What am I here for? How can I become an empty vessel for the universal consciousness to flow through? What am I uniquely designed to bring into this world? How do I bring my true self, my real self, capital S, into every single moment, every breath? Authenticity is not always sattvic or pure or clean or holy. It's honest. It is always honest. That's what authenticity is. And in that honesty, now we begin to purify our minds. We become the vessel for clear perception. We become the deepest connection to ourself and to the universe. And what does that end up leaving us? Content, peaceful. We can live a content, peaceful life, even having a shadow. Spiritual authenticity requires embodiment, not bypassing the body, fully listening to it, not shaming your emotions, honoring them as messengers of imbalance or alignment, Remember, there's a dualistic in the oneness. To live your truth is to nourish your body and temple, to discipline your mind, to open your heart over and over and over and over again, and crack yourself open. It's so painful and it's so joyous simultaneously. Again, authenticity doesn't mean saying whatever you want to say whenever you feel like it. It means speaking and living in truth and kindness. Spirituality is not passive, it's courageous. Authenticity is not harsh, it's rooted in compassion. True authenticity is when your truth becomes medicine. It becomes medicine not just for you, but everyone you're around. That is when we begin to spiritually mature. That is spiritual maturity. Humans are like trees. Every human is like a tree. We're rooted, we grow, we reach up. We're entirely distinct in form and essence. Some are small, some are tall, some are poplar, some are oaks, some are cherry blossoms. All trees grow. All trees experience the same sunshine, the same sky. The trees don't judge each other. The trees don't compare each other. Just like you, your uniqueness is not accidental. It's elemental. Your scars, your knots, your twists, your turns, your roots, your ancestry, all of it. It's a story, and it informs you. It deeply informs you of your strength, of your creativity, of your relationship, of your service, of your self-expression. It is entirely you. All we have to do is simply allow ourselves to grow, to be there. And then when we do that, we're of service. We can provide shelter. We can provide fruits and flowers and beauty and nourishment and shade and breath. We don't have to strive to be spiritual. You just have to grow as yourself. You just have to show up, to honor yourself as you are, remembering your essence, honoring your soul's calling. What does it truly mean to be spiritual and authentic from an Ayurvedic view? Remember your essence. Honor who you are, your soul's purpose, your soul's calling. Living in life with rhythm and integrity. Cultivating your own mental clarity for the sake of you. Embodying your truth with compassion. And trusting truly 100% that your lived experience is sacred, not in spite of your humanity, but through it. As we bring this episode to a close, I invite you to soften and I invite you to open. I invite you to trust that your spirit and your truth are not in conflict. They are partners of your being, of your becoming. As you move through the rest of your day, as you move through every breath, I invite you to walk with softness, to listen inward, to trust that your messy, sacred humanity is spiritual. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. Thank you for being you. May you root deeply. May you reach freely. May you trust the intelligence of your own growth. And may your path be real, raw, and radiant. May your life be your practice. May your presence be your prayer. And may your truth be your offering. Thank you for joining me on this sacred journey. If this episode spoke to your heart, share it with your family, your friends, your community, and share your viewpoint, share your love, share your wisdom, share your experience in this forum. This way we grow. This way we expand. This way we can mirror and look at our stuff deeper when you share. Until the next time, namaste.